think Kyler Murray should get every opportunity to be QB1 in this offense. He's experienced. He's got a level of expertise of years of actually being under fire, under center. But at the same time, this should be a true quarterback competition. Why do I say that? Kevin O'Connell has absolutely proven that he can take veteran quarterbacks and get them to get the best out of them. But at the same time, I go back to 2012, and when I was playing with the Arizona Cardinals and going against the Seattle Seahawks, and Matt Flynn, Russell Wilson had this quarterback competition. Russell Wilson was this rookie third-round pick. Matt Flynn was this big-time free agent signing, and Pete Carroll made the bold decision of going with the younger player, and it turned out going great in their favor. And so I think that Kyler Murray should get the edge based off of experience, but it should be a true competition. If JJ's a better player, then absolutely go with the younger quarterback.
Yeah, Mark.
What do you want to see, particularly from Jalen Hurts in this training camp?
Yeah, the same thing we want to see from all our guys is, we're not thinking about game 1, game 2, anything down the line. We're thinking about how we get better today and what the work that was required to get better today, because all those things are in the forefront, but none of it matters. Mm-hmm. And so we want that for every one of our players. Jalen just always had a great approach of going in every single game, every single day, and working his butt off. I think, he's accomplished the things that he's accomplished because he does the little things daily to get himself in these positions where, he can be the Super Bowl MVP, where he can win as many games as he has. So I'm always very impressed by Jalen, of his daily work ethic, and focusing on the things he can control that day to get better.
Let's talk about the changes on offense, particularly the trade of A.J. Brown. You made that as a team decision. He's in New England. He was 30% of your passing yards last year, most on your team, fourth most in the National Football League. What's the process like right now, the challenge like to replace that big hole in your offense?
Yeah, again, we have a great room. We have a great receiving room that I'm really excited about, that's been showing up in the last couple of days of camp.
How so? In what ways?
Just being able to make plays and trust. Like, again, it's you're building trust through this, right? And so every time you step on the field, whether it's Tay, whether it's Devontae, whether it's Mackay, whether it's Cooper, Elijah, Hollywood, it doesn't matter. That's a good room. That's those guys' names I just mentioned, Johnny Wilson. Like, every day you're building trust, right? Are you where you're supposed to be? Are you making the play that you're supposed to make? And I'm seeing those guys do that, and it's been exciting. And so again, I wish AJ the best. We had great moments here.
Went to a Super Bowl,
went to another one, won it,
yeah.
And so again, it's a group effort of how we replace the production there, and I'm liking where we're starting through the first 2 days.
Especially with all the new additions that you've had, what kind of energy have you seen around Cincinnati, but also inside the building after everybody y'all have added?
Well, just talking about the city, so much excitement. I felt it really all spring. I was at a soccer game after we traded for Dexter Lawrence the next day, and you could feel the genuine excitement for the season. I was around all summer. People come up to me, so it's fun. That's why you want to be in a place like Cincinnati, where their passion is there. They live and die with the football team. And so we understand that responsibility we have to our fans, and then the excitement in the building, in the locker room, the whole building, personnel, ownership. They've given us everything we need to succeed, and now we just got to go do it.
Yeah, y'all have felt that passion maybe on the other side the last couple of years about the expectations y'all haven't met. How has that kind of weighed on y'all as y'all got ready for the season, and how have you kind of approached that as you go into a big 2026?
It's deserved. When you don't go to the playoffs and have the lack of success we've had, then I understand it. That's what you sign up for in this business, but that's why the great years, you cherish the great years, and we're putting in all the work we can possibly have to make sure that we have a great year, and we get back to those years that we've really cherished as coaches and players. And but there's a lot of work we obviously got to put in over the course of August to get there.
I know y'all feel great about the work that y'all put in, not only just recently, but also throughout OTAs. What gives you the confidence that you can get back to the places that y'all have experienced in the past?
Well, on paper, things look great. The attitude is great. The energy is great. We haven't even put pads on yet. So until we really put in that work and see what our team's at, it's impossible to say where we stand. But all the things that we could have done so far, I feel like our guys have really embraced. Our coaches have really worked hard to put these guys in really good positions. Got a lot of players, got to utilize them the right way. I feel like we're on course to do that. Just got about 5 more weeks of work before we get to the Bucs game.
Aaron Rodgers, Mike McCarthy back together again. And with a revamped offense around them, the Steelers are hoping this reunion can help push the team forward. Brooke Pryor now joining us from Steelers camp. Brooke, what are your early impressions of Mike McCarthy's offense through 3 days of camp?
Molly, if the first 3 days of Steelers training camp are any indication, we are going to be seeing Aaron Rodgers connecting with DK Metcalf early and often. The Steelers ended their practice Thursday with Rodgers hitting Metcalf for a deep touchdown. Metcalf made the grab, a contested catch over rookie Dalen Everett, a little bit of a welcome to the league rookie type of moment. And then on Friday, they opened up their up-tempo, essentially walk-through practice, as Mike McCarthy called it, a mock game, with Rodgers again finding Metcalf in the end zone. Now, one of the reasons for their relationship being so close this year is not only that they played together last year, but also that they had more time together in the offseason. Metcalf specifically mentioned that the two of them were at several OTA sessions together, and Rodgers hosted Metcalf among other pass catchers on that bonding week at a ranch out west. Metcalf said that he's going to sacrifice everything, do whatever he's got to do just so he can catch the ball from Rodgers, and he said it made their bond that much deeper. Now, this entire pass catching group is really close. That's been a huge point of emphasis throughout the offseason. And another point of emphasis that I've seen early in training camp is on those 2-minute drills. In fact, the Steelers opened up today's practice in a scenario where they were the 2-minute TV timeout. No timeouts coming out of that. They had to drive the field down a touchdown. And when you know it, Aaron Rodgers, DK Metcalf for 6 in the end zone.
Debo was one of the best in the NFL at extending plays, ranking top 5 in yards after the catch and yards per reception. The 49ers were missing that piece to their receiver game a year ago, ranking 16th in YAC in 2025. So, Mike T, let's start with you. Do you like this signing for San Francisco?
Molly, I love it. I think Debo is a great complement to what Brock Purdy does well. In his career, Debo has 3,500 yards run after catch. You alluded to the other graphic as well. And when you think about what Brock Purdy does well, he gets rid of the ball, he's accurate, but last year he was only 18th in air yards. So getting the ball down the field isn't a strength of his. So when you mention the injuries they have to Kirk and more notably Ricky Pearsall, I think this is smart. This time of year from a front office perspective, you want to bring in somebody that knows the system, something that Debo knows well.
So my heart and my mind are struggling because in my heart, I want to say if Mahomes is going to be out there and he's going to be healthy, this team has to be a contender. But then with my mind, I'm looking down their roster and I'm looking at the improvements from last year to this year, which was last year was a 6-win team. Mahomes got hurt at the end of the season. Yes, they added Kenneth Walker III. They drafted guys on the defensive side of the ball. They didn't add another weapon on the outside for Mahomes to be able to get the ball on an offense that has lacked any type of explosive nature really since Tyreek Hill has left. I think Mahomes' air yards was at 8 yards and it steadily has gone down now in 6 and some change since Tyreek Hill has left that team. So for me, it's like as much as I love Patrick Mahomes and think he is the best quarterback that's played our game in a long time since Brady and is all the accolades he has achieved and everything he's done, I don't know that this team got that much better than what they were a year ago to say, all right, now I'm picking them over the Denver Broncos to win this division, and I'm picking them over the Buffalo Bills, the New England Patriots, the Baltimore Ravens to represent the AFC. Right now, I don't see it because this is also Mahomes with a chunky knee brace on who is going to play differently early on in the season because he has to. He can't scramble the way he's been done in the past, and he has to stay healthy. So as much as I like him, this team, to me, they got older in certain positions, and I don't really know that they've retooled in the nature that they need to be able to be contenders in the AFC.
Just came from the Dallas Cowboys training camp. You said you had a 10-minute conversation with Dak.
Yeah, so great to be here. It was interesting because you're moving things around and these things are sometimes happening on the fly. So he says he could give me 10 minutes. It was maybe the most efficient 10-minute conversation I've ever had.
Well, he's efficiency, is he not?
He was like, I'm telling you, like, it's just like you sense with him just a belief and a security in where he is and a security in what's around him and his place in the league and the Cowboys' place now, which he wore I don't know if you saw the picture, but he wore a Super Bowl shirt.
Yeah, I think we talked about it at length leading up to your...
Yeah, so the Super Bowl 30 shirt, which is hard to believe. Now you think about that, that's half the Super Bowl era ago because we're at 60 now, and it's the last one they won. So I asked him about that, and he basically said it's obvious that that's our goal. So why shouldn't we just say it? And he's like everybody's going to be talking about us and our expectations. And that's part of playing in Dallas in September and October and November, whether we're winning or losing, that's all anybody's going to be talking about. So why don't we just start the conversation now?
I think that he is going to play earlier than maybe they're saying right now or people expect, in part because it always happens. Been covering this league for a long time. The rookie quarterbacks, the first rounders, especially 1-1 picks, they never sit for long. I think for Vegas, the readiness is a factor, and I do think he'll be ready from a understanding the offense perspective. The thing I'd be wary of is the offensive line. I'd want to see that this offensive line is functional and capable of protecting him before rolling him out there. Because last year, this was one of the worst offensive lines in football. Obviously, they signed Linderbaum, but it does need to improve a great deal.
Baker is worth more than what the Bucs offered. He should be in that $50 million a year category. That should be the way it is. The fact of the matter also is that Tampa Bay does have the franchise tag available for the next 2 years. And I believe the franchise tag for next year, depending on a variety of factors, could be under $50 million. So they could tag him then. And then they could tag him again the next year to the upwards of about $57, $58 million. So they have him under contract for 1 year, but they might have his rights for the next 3 years. And who knows if it'll ever come to that. It probably won't anyway. And Baker's bitter right now, and understandably so, on the 2 years that the Buccaneers offer. But the fact of the matter is, there's still a lot left in this relationship, whether Baker likes it or not, because Tampa Bay is just not going to let Baker Mayfield walk into free agency, leave the franchise, and not be compensated. That's not reality either. So it's up to these sides to figure out a way to get a deal done, and Baker doesn't want to do a deal right now.